Hello, hello. This is Nina Erjavik, Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the US, and this is Technique Tuesday. So today we will be working with ink puddle press technique. So we will need some re-inkers, a solid stamp that has a two-step that either has a solid stamp with the stamp that goes over the top with the detail, or for me, I am using this stamp set, Lovely Arrangements. I'm using this, actually this here, I'm using this leaf, and I'm also using the die, which is this one here, okay? So this one's a little bit more challenging because this one is a solid stamp, but it has veins for the leaves. So with this technique, you just don't want to get it too wet because then it kind of comes out as a big blob. So we don't want that. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take the re-inkers and we're going to put a couple. This one is Cloud Cover. I'm using my glass mat because it cleans up really easy. I'm going to put more blue than anything, more of the Cloud Cover. You know, depending on, it is a blue, but depending on what you put it with, the colors that you put it with, it could either look gray or it could look blue. So you'll see that it looks blue when we add it to this old olive, okay? The reason why I'm doing this is you'll see, once I spray it, it'll kind of spread, and then I always tap off, okay? And it does spritz all over the place, so be careful. Cover up your workstation so that you don't get everything with ink on it, okay? I'm gonna take some cardstock, and I am just going to, just like it says, ink, puddle, and press. So ink, and I'm getting up a lot of ink here. You don't want to take this right to your paper because it will make a blob, okay? Because especially when it's down here. So I'm going to just stamp off several times, and then I'm going to take it to my paper. Okay, so that's a lot lighter than what I wanted. So I'm going to go back into my little puddles that I created here. I'm going to pick up a little bit more blue, come down, and then stamp again. Now, the thing with this is you're going to keep trying. You're not going to get the perfect touch right away. I have bunches that I've cut up. And then I have other ones that I have tested. So this is the blob I was talking about. You don't want that. This turned out pretty good. So I've done all of these here. So it's a fun technique. You have to try it. I've done many of these. So see, these are all perfect. I like them all. And even the blobbier ones, maybe not necessarily this one, but this blobby one, it would be okay. So it just depends on what you're using it with. So I'm going to go in and pick up some more ink. I'm going to bring it down here, and I'm going to stamp off. Now I'm noticing that I've got a lot of green in here. So like I said, you're just going to keep, I'm getting another piece of paper. You're just going to keep stamping until you get what you want. Okay, and by the time you're done, you're going to have a lot of leaves. So you'll have a lot of leaves to do all kinds of projects with. Now, another thing that I've learned in doing this is you do not want to leave your stamp on your paper for very long, because what happens is the paper is porous and it is just going to suck that ink in, and it is going to make a blob no matter how long you leave it on. So I would suggest ink up go into your puddles, your different puddles, okay, stamp off, and then go right onto your paper and come right off. Now I'm going to do it, and I'm going to show you what it looks like when you leave it on too long. I'm going to pick up some blue, and if you leave it on too long, it just kind of blends in and you start losing your detail, especially with a stamp like this. With a solid stamp, say one of the good ones to use would be, let me find my little note. Greenery Lane would be a good one because that has a solid leaf branch, and then it has a another leaf that goes over the top once you have your background, that would be a perfect one for this particular technique. Another one would be natural botanicals. That would also be a great one to do with this whole ink puddle press idea. But you know what? No two images are going to be alike or the same. So you're always going to get different images depending on the pressure that you put on, how much ink and water you have on your stamp. This is just regular basic white cardstock. There's nothing special about this. I'm not sure. I don't have a big piece of, let's see. This is watercolor paper. Let's see what this does. I'm not going to be able to get the whole thing because I used up all of my paper. But let's see what it does. Okay, so it makes a blob. Let's see. We're just testing this here. So this is watercolor paper, and it's going to soak up the water and leave your ink there. So it soaked that up pretty quick. I mean, because I wouldn't say it's dry, but it's not going to come off. So I wish I had a bigger piece, but I don't. Guess that's got to go on my next order, huh? Let's do this one. Let's stamp down here a little bit, get some of that ink off. So this watercolor paper gives you more of a watercolor look. So this looks more like watercolor as well, but this is actually even more so. You can also, let's see, all of my pieces are too small, but you'll at least get the gist of what I'm trying to say. This is watercolor paper. This is Fluid 100. So you can spritz the paper. I spritzed it with water. Let's see, this is just a test. I've not done this. So let's go see what it does. So this technique you can use on watercolor paper that's wet. And what it's going to do is it's going to bleed a lot. So can you see the paper? Can you see? So it's too wet, and so the water is bleeding, is having the ink spread out even more. I wish I had a bigger piece. It would make it so much nicer, but I don't. So we'll just work with what we've got. So when you have a glass mat like this, or a glass mat period, it makes this kind of testing a lot easier. You feel like you're not wasting, like a paper plate. That's kind of pretty. So again, I just encourage you to play. Just sit, get your little glass mat, or a plate will work too. You can also do it on paper. But see, oh, that looks really stunning. That looks nice. And just play. Yes, you're going to use a lot of cardstock. Going to use a lot of cardstock, but what else can you do with those scraps, right? Scraps are perfect for this technique, so definitely try it out. No two impressions are ever going to be the same, so just know that. Play around with colors. See what kind of colors. Do fall colors. What color would you use? What color would you test out on this particular technique? Let's see. If you have any questions, go ahead and put them down in the comments for me. I will get back to you. I will answer. If you like these techniques and you want to learn more, subscribe, like, follow for more, and you will be notified when I upload more videos. So for now, I am going to say, see you later. See you next week. See you next week on Tuesday or in the next video. Who knows? We'll talk soon. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.